Hi, I'm Julie, and I'd like to tell you about this book, New York Times bestseller, called Between Two Kingdoms, a memoir of a life interrupted by Sulika Jawad. And all of us suffer grief and mourn and have loss, and we're not really good about talking about it, are we? This author shares her experience with cancer in an honest and really well-written way. And she doesn't tell anybody else how to do their experience. She just shares her experience beautifully. Sulika discovered at the age of 22 that she had cancer, and her story takes you through about 4 years of the medical and emotional nightmare that came with that diagnosis. And then about halfway through the book, it takes a turn as Sulika is in remission and she tries to move forward, move through, and find her way back to normal. And I never thought about that as being a battle, but it truly is. And Sulika says, now that I've survived, I'm realizing I don't know how to live. The second half of the book tells about a road trip that she takes, what she discovers, how she feels, the people that she meets along her way of the road trip. And the title of this book came from a quote by Susan Sontag in her book, Illness in Metaphor. And she wrote, everyone who is born holds dual citizenship in the kingdom of the well and in the kingdom of the sick. And if we ourselves aren't currently experiencing a physical or health challenge, we probably know somebody who is, sadly. And we all experience grief and loss. And all of this is so beautifully described in this book. There are many great books about coping with grief and loss and illness. And what I found most helpful in Sulika's book was her honesty. She avoids the pillar of strength that some people think they have to be or get viewed as. And she talks about being scared, and she talks about throwing up and being depressed and not knowing what to do. She talks about how her illness affects her family and her friends. And some of it was probably really important growth, and some of it was awful. But all of it was really real. I found this book on a list of recommended reading when a best friend of mine was dying from cancer. And I cried when I realized more detail about some of the things he probably went through and some of the things he probably felt, and I felt more connected. One of the people Sulika met on her travels told her, the power of story is to heal and to sustain, and if we are brave enough to tell our own story, we realize we're not alone again and again. I found that really powerful. I have a rare medical condition, and while I was reading this book with my friend in mind, I was shook up by how many times the author describes something that I have felt. I don't have cancer, but I have wondered how to be honest with myself with guilt or fears that are new in my life, what I can or can't do, should or shouldn't do. Sulika put feelings I've had into words I've never been able to find. There is adult language in situations, so I think this might be a better book for teens, some teens and up. I would give it 5 stars and recommend this book even if you don't have cancer or a weird medical disease. It's a well-written, honest look at grief and loss and change. And as challenging as these topics are, they're part of our lives. I'd like to share one more quote from the book that kind of wraps it all up. And it was, that's all you can do in the face of these things. Love the people around you. Love the life you have. I can't think of a more powerful response to life's sorrows than loving. So thanks for listening. You all take care. Bye.
If you're interested in this book, place it on hold at mesacountylibraries.org or at your local library.